only the river. But nice little blend. So if you have a bit of an open world game, you're looking to see how do you set this up. You know, this is kind of a nice way to it still gives you the. Okay, I have a little bit of terrain here. I wanted to show you kind of a combination of two things. One is mixers, the other one is a bit of an ambient system, which is a perfect time to try to use mixers, to which I made a custom action for. That's a lot to say. So I made like this really shitty map. I have a river. This is going to be like my ocean, my coast, forest, and I don't know, lava or something. I don't know, do a cave. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to create. Actually, first let's get into the mixer. I think the mixer might be cooler. So I made a folder called mixing system, and I'm going to create audio mixer. I'm going to call it my ambient. So we have this ambient, and if I double click on it, in order to work with it, I'm going to do a few things. I'm going to click on it where I have this little window. Now I've clicked on it. I'm going to right click, say expose volume of this to a parameter. And now I can do this. I can double click on those, and I can just change the name. We'll call it master. Alright, cool. So now I am going to add a group. And we can call this one we'll say lava. It's my lava group, and I can right click, expose, make this guy go lava volume. Alright. Oh, didn't mean to add a group there. I want to add it to the master. The other thing is, like, you can tier these things in all sorts of different ways. So let's call it ocean. And then let's, shit. Did it again. Click on the master, add. So we have lava, ocean, forest. Click on master, add river. Alright. So now we have those. So we would need, we have lava, we have click on ocean, and I'm going to add a parameter. Ocean volume. Click on forest, add parameter. Forest volume. Go to the river, add, double click, and river volume. Alright, cool. That's cool. Let's go back to our project. You're probably wondering, what the ever living hell am I doing? So let's call it ambient, and let's add an audio source, and I'm going to play on awake and loop, and we need some tracks. So let's go and find, I have this little guy here. What do we have? We have coastal with wind, so let's put him in there. So if he's the coastal, he is going to be ocean. That's what he's playing through. Alright, let's add another audio source, and I'll also loop this one, and let's do swamp, no wind. We'll call that the lava, I suppose. May not match. I should probably default these volumes down to 0. And let's add another one. And let's do... Oh, I do a volcano. I could have just done a volcano. I tell you. Let's do that. Let's go forest. Loop down. Add one more. And I'm pretty sure I have a river. There we go. So he needs a river. And there we go. So, they're all playing. Alright. So, what if we add a FSM and we can add, say, what do we want to do? Let's add river. And let's do a few more. Ocean. Forest, lava, how else was there? Just those? Okay. So to help visualize, personally, I like to go with a sphere. You can take the collider off if you want. And I'm going to take this up to like, I'll say 30. Right, so this is our lava. Okay, I should probably maybe go 40. Get a few less of them. No, let's go 50. Let's go big. Go big, go home, right? Make sure it's kind of somewhere in there. And I just kind of want to stick these. You don't need to fully cover the whole thing, but more the merrier, I guess you could say. Stick 1 or 2 in the middle. Alright, so there are our spheres. Alright, I'm going to deactivate those, or you can flat out get rid of the mesh renders, but if you want to adjust them, it's kind of nicer just to deactivate them. Alright, so now we need a array list proxy, and we'll call this lava. Lava. So what we want to do, we want to array list owner lava. That's the parent. Include the inactive, yes, because I have them all deactivated. There we go, and let's just come off of there. This is our initting. Init. All right, so I'm going to use array list get closest object, and there's numerous ways to do this, and you can put delays. So we need to get a distance from. So I'm going to use a new global, to which I've already made it. I'm not using it, but called the ambient player. Right. So this is our. We'll call it lava. All right. So get distance, which you would think this would return the distance with it, but apparently not. So lava, and this is our distance. And now let's float remap. And we want to take the distance and remap it from, we'll say 200. This starting is going to be more of, think of it as like a smoothing value. The higher it goes, the more gradual things will be, and you'll understand that in a minute. The base, I'm going to go with 50, and that's going to be kind of based on the distances you're using in between, like how far they are, sort of. And what are we going to do? We're going to go -80 and 20, and this is lava dB. Right, I probably should have changed this distance to lava distance. Alright, so now I also want a float clamp, because we don't need to take this to some excessive level. Right, so the min value could be -80 and the max value is going to be 20. Alright, cool. Now, the custom action I made is actually controls those mixers. And I'll show you that in 2 seconds. Let's just make something here. So if this is my player, we need to get a reference to them so everything can use them. I don't feel like dragging things into the... Oh, that's a horrible way to... Always use references. Use variables. Don't drag things back and forth and fill references that way. It's horrible. Alright, so if I go to our ambient, let's come over here and let's take this and put it in the input so we can see it. And I'm going to lock him and hit play. So we should get a value here, -80 to 20. Based on where we are, right? If I'm over here, oh, we have a bit of an issue. I'm messing something up. Oh, what do we have? Oh, I'm using from the get owner. Alright, well that's going to be not a good thing, because we want to use the distance from the ambient to our closest game object. That's what's causing us issues. Silly me, silly me. Alright, so now, okay, we're at -80. And you can see the line, like it's finding that one there, right? And as we move around, like we're 80, we get closer and it starts coming up. We get into it and it's maxed out. Right? So you can kind of see maybe where I'm going with this. Like, so now I made a custom action. Ba-doop. Set audio mixer levels. That's what I called it. So it needs a variable, and I thought about making that an actual variable to pass around, but really if you're dealing with an audio mixer, you aren't going to be passing it around as like an actual audio variable, right? Like it's just really not how those things are used. So we're just going to drag it in. We're going to say we're talking about the ambient, and the value and the parameter. So if you remember, if we open that up, this is, we're talking about the lava, right? So we have our parameters and we have one called lava volume. So let's put that in here. Lava volume. Alright, well what parameter are we actually using? Well, we're using lava dB. There we go. So if I hit play, we should see, like, these ones I'm not setting right now, but we're way down. But as we get closer, see how it comes up? Right, so now that we have that, let's, oh, not that one. We can crank this one back on. Alright, the other ones, we have to set those in here first. Alright, so crank that up. It's about volume. I cranked it up a little high. Right? So But we have, if you're in the swamp, you can hear that. Hopefully, you're probably having trouble hearing me, right? But as you leave, it fades. All right, cool. So again, we could repeat that process, right? We can go to the ocean, for example. Or should I use the forest? Let's go with 50s again. Get rid of that stupid thing so we don't actually need colliders. Just using this as a visual. And we're just going to paint the coast. If you're able to swim or whatever, or go into the water, kind of idea. If you're doing this particular thing, you'd also want to be filling up the beyond the coast, like up in here. In this situation, I don't know if I need to do that. Yeah, maybe I will. Fuck it. Whoa. What am I doing? Right, so again, I'm going to deactivate those, and I can literally just say copy, paste. Alright, so we need a new proxy, and we can call this one, say, ocean. Copy that, and ocean. Make sure to select our right object here, and I can come over here now, shrink all those down, grab all those, which beautiful time for a template, by the way. So this doesn't have 500 actions in it. You can run just a couple templates. Right, so we're going to talk about the ocean. We're still going to the ambient player. This is now, we'll call it ocean. And we're getting distance from ambient player to ocean. Ocean distance. And we want to remap ocean distance. This can stay the same, but this will be ocean dB. Float clamp ocean dB. And set audio mixer. Ocean volume to ocean dB. Alright, so now we have two of them. So let's go find our ocean. River, forest, lava, ocean. Alright. So as we get closer, hear that? I can hear it just fine. But there's the ocean. We get away with, and then we would be in the forest. We'd have some forest markers in here, and we'd hear more of the forest. And we come over here. Oh, am I coming downwards? Oh, we're fine. Oh, it would help if I had that up too. Alright, there we go. Now that's working. Ocean. We have this, and as you see, if I start moving kind of halfway in between, you're getting a bit of a blend here. You have that distance ocean. Right now, keep in mind, from here to the ocean, see how fast this is climbing? Like if I'm back here, and as I move up, right, so that's where, oh, I've already got it open, is this remap, this guy here. You can, it's kind of like a smoothing thing. Like for example, if I make it say 400, Right? Okay, let's adjust these now. So his volume. Right, so now that I've doubled that smoothing value, not that it's an actual smoothing value, but what it's being used for. It's got a lot more distance, so it's got a longer blend. Right, like I've got to get pretty far away, no volume to it. Right? Where if I take this down, say 150, I have no volume now, and I actually got to get half decently close before I can start hearing it. And then it hits back pretty quick. Right? So, depending on how much of a blend you want, how close you got to hear it, is kind of where you want to set it. 150 would probably be good. Maybe a little less, 125 even. But that's literally how that whole thing's done in this aspect, right? Like numerous ways to kind of set this up, and I thought kind of neat to see the mixing system. Because I don't know how many people really know much about the mixing system, so it's kind of neat to play with.